very much, and I love fishing.
Sorry, you like reading and
Fishing.
physics? Physics is in physics, the subject in school? Physics?
No. Fenching. Fishing.
Ficing. Fishing. You mean fishing?
Um,
Okay, I'm gonna
no.
like this. Fencing.
No. F-E-N. This the second one. Second one.
Oh, the second one, fencing.
Fishing.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know a lot of children who do fencing, but the ones I do know are from China. Is fencing a popular sport in China? Is it popular?
Just right now in Xi'an.
Yeah, in Xi'an. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Wh- So when you grow up, you can be an actress in an action movie because you can do fencing, right?
Mm, maybe, but I want to be a teacher when I am a. I
Oh,
want to be a teacher.
what kind of teacher?
Chinese.
Chinese teacher. Interesting. All right. What made you want to go into fencing?
Sorry.
What made you want to go into fencing? What made you want to go into fencing? What made you choose?
Because it was very different from the other sports, and I think it's very cool.
Yeah, I think it's cool too, right? And you have a sword, right? You're holding a sword in fencing?
Yes.
Hmm. Well, what about reading? You said you like reading. Do you like reading books in English or in Chinese?
Um, some is English and some is Chinese.
What kind of books do you read in English?
Harry Potter.
Oh, Harry Potter. I think all the children in China like Harry Potter, right?
Um, Most of because it was really very interesting.
Interesting. But what about the words? Do you find the words in Harry Potter difficult to understand? Easy to read?
Um, mm, some of it, but not very much.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's nice. That's good. All right, so we're going to have a lesson on news and current events. And every week, we're going to read a story about what's happening in the world. Okay, so every week is a different story. Are you
Okay.
interested? Are you interested in the news? In the news about the world or about your country? Do you read those
Um,
newspapers?
yes, I read those every morning.
Really? Good for you. So you read the newspaper every morning. Do you read it on the internet?
Yes,
Do you read it online, internet, or on a real newspaper?
a real newspaper.
Hmm. Okay. So as you can see my screen, our topic for
Yes.
yeah, our topic for today is the Australian bushfires. What do you know about what's happening in Australia? Can you tell me?
Um, it's it was a very big accident, and I've heard that lots of animals were died in the fire, and many people, I think more, 10,000 people was want to go out of there, and I know there are two or three ships to rescue the peoples, and it's it's been the biggest fire in the Australia.
Yes, you're right. It's been the biggest fire. Do you know how many animals died in the fire?
No.
Actually, the number is more than 1 billion. One, more than 1 billion species and animals. Species of animals are dead. Do you think it's a very big number?
Of course.
Yes, it means it's very, very serious. And okay, I want to show you the map. Okay, do you see the map? Can you
Yes.
can you tell me what this map is about?
Um, the all red is the fire.
Okay, yes. And what else can you see on the map?
Um, the other country.
Right? The other countries. What are the countries nearest to it?
Um, I see there are only one country have the fire now, and like the New Zealand, and it's haven't got the fire.
Okay, yes. So you have countries like Indonesia. Indonesia is near Australia, but we don't see any
Uh,
fires there. And there's Papua New Guinea. There's the Solomon Islands. There's New Zealand. New Zealand is too far away to be harmed, but as you
yes.
can see, the fire is what? How would you describe the fire?
Mm, I think it's maybe a half of Australia.
Yeah, it looks like half of Australia, and it looks like they're surrounded. The
Yes.
They're surrounded by fire. And the thing with fire is, well, it looks like they still have a lot of white spaces here, but fire can quickly what? Can quickly,
Um,
can you complete the sentence?
fire can quickly
Yes.
um fire can quickly
Can quickly what? You want me to help you?
um yes.
Can quickly spread.
Yes. Spread.
Fire can quickly spread. So it doesn't matter that they have a lot of white spaces here in the middle. The red dots can increase, right? It can get more and more and more
Yes.
if they don't control the fire right away. Okay, I want to show you this one. Wait, I'll give you a new share. All right, so I read this story. It says devastating images of burned koalas and wallabies are emerging from Australia as 1 billion animals are feared dead. I can't imagine what 1 billion animals look like. I think this includes all the small species like the insects and the geckos and stuff like that. So you know what a koala is, right?
Yes.
How about a wallaby? Have you heard of the wallaby?
Not very much.
Wallaby, it's a kind of animal. So let's take a look. So these are the koalas that they rescued. See, as you can see, they put the koala in a basket. They picked him up from the road, and then they wrapped his wrapped up his legs. Because why do you think they wrapped up his legs?
Maybe this koala is getting hurt, or they don't want this koala to touch with the fire.
Yes, his limbs were burned, right? They were burned. So they had to treat him. Okay. And then okay, those so this is a story. But I don't see any other pictures. Okay, here. A satellite photo of Bateman Bay on the southern coast of New South Wales, Australia. So look at this picture. What can you say about this picture? It's a satellite image. What can you say about it?
At first, there is a very big land, but the fire looks like it's in um, 怎么说呢？
Yeah.
the fire the fire maybe have been a quarter of this land, and looks like it's looks like this fire was getting bigger.
Yeah. And the fire is really big because you can see it from the satellite. What about these white things here? What are they?
Um, um,
What's this? What are these things? Do you think they're smoke? Do you think
um,
they're clouds?
um, I'm not very sure because the smoke was like the um the smoke that I saw is not white,
Mm-hmm. I think it's a mix.
but
Yeah.
yes,
Do you agree? Does it look like a mix to you? Because this part looks like clouds, but
yes, and like
this part,
smoke.
yeah, this part looks like smoke and ash. Okay. All right. Can you read this part? What does it say? The caption.
Um,
This part.
okay, hundreds of thousands of people have been forced to
Okay, say forced. Forced. Forced.
have been forced to e-
Evacuate.
uh
Evacuate.
can you say again?
Evacuate.
Evac- Evacuate,
Mm-hmm. And
and at least 25 have died, and
estimated.
estimated 2,000 homes have been destroyed.
Okay, destroyed.
Destroyed.
Right, destroyed. So it's not just 1 billion animals dead. Are there people dead too?
Um, yes, I believe
Okay,
because there are 2,000 homes have been destroyed, and
mhm,
there must some people die in the house.
right. There must be there there must be some people who died in their houses. Okay, yeah, you're right. So I really feel sorry about Australia now, and some countries have stepped up to help them by sending firefighters to Australia to help control the fire. So you can see the different you can see that you can compare Australia to the other places that have been burned. So here The Australian bushfires have destroyed 25.5 million acres of land. They have the most destruction. How about the Amazon in Brazil? The Brazilian Amazon fires have 17.5 number of acres destroyed. Siberia only has 6.4 million. Alaska has had 2.5 million. California. California had a bad burning season, but they only had 1.9 million acres burned. So the worst fire in US history is only 1.2 million, right?
Right.
Australia in 2009 had 1.1 million acres destroyed. So this year, 2019 to 2020, has been the biggest destruction that Australia has ever seen. Okay, so it's an area that's larger than South Korea. Okay, it's like
Okay.
burning the whole of South Korea. Okay, so I want you to look at this. Okay, let's look at this map. Okay, let's look at this map. An image in you. Okay, can you describe this map to me? It's not a map, it's an illustration. What can you see in this picture?
Okay. First of all, the fire have burned trees and make the smoke up, and and it's getting to be the clouds, and the clouds were getting to be the thunderstorm, and
Mm-hmm.
and and they have been the downburst, and in the thunderstorm there are lightning too. So the lightning may can craft a fire again and again and again and again like this.
Okay, yes, it's called a vicious what is the word? What? It's a cycle. Do you,
Oh, yes, cycle.
do you know what a cycle is?
Yes,
It's happening again and again, right? Just exactly like you
right,
said. So first you have the fires, the smoke goes up into the air, and when they get into the cold areas, they condense into clouds, right? So the
right,
clouds get heavy and turn into rain. So it rains down on the land, but the rain also brings lightning and thunderstorms, and the lightning can cause new fires by hitting the trees. So do you think this
yes.
is a natural disaster or a man-made disaster?
Mm, mm,
Is it natural?
I'm not very because because when we go to forest, maybe we have match, and maybe this little match can craft a very big fire.
Mm-hmm.
But but like but like you see in this photo, and maybe it's a natural too, because the lightning make fire, and the fire getting up to the clouds, and make the lightning again.
Okay.
So I'm not very sure now.
Yeah, actually, you're right. So not all of it is a natural disaster. Some of it is caused by some people who are not careful about when they're using fire. For example, I read a story in the news that some of the police, Australian police, have caught some men who were throwing their cigarettes into the forest. They were caught creating a fire, whether intentionally or by mistake. So you're right. Some of this can be caused by people, And that's the sad part of our of this situation. So despite rescue and treatment efforts, 1 billion animals are feared dead. So this is a picture of what is this?
This is a kangaroo.
Yes, it's a kangaroo. So they wrapped up his legs with with gauze because they're burned, right? They're trying to their
Right.
best to save the animals. So it's really it's very sad. So this is a dead koala. He was burned in the fire. So that's the only remains of his body. It's a dead koala on Kangaroo Island. Okay, so you have some dead birds too. It's a dead bird washed up among the ash and fire. Okay, what else? The fires could wipe out some endangered species, including the southern corroboree frog and the mountain pygmy possum. What does it mean when he says the fires could wipe out endangered species?
Um, maybe maybe some species and um, maybe some endangered species and they were um, there were not very much in the forest and maybe this fire can burn them and maybe lots of them will die and maybe this fire will make a species to
Will make a species what?
um
This do you know this word?
uh what
What word is this?
disappeared.
Do you agree that the fire can make some species disappear?
Yes,
Yeah, because some of them are endangered. Like you said, there's not enough of them in their habitat or in the forest. There's just a few left, right? And so the fire
right.
can destroy all of them completely. Just like this mouse. This mouse. They call it the mountain pygmy possum. Huh? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, that's the problem with Australia. So, if you were if you were in government, so if you were a part of the Chinese government, do you think countries like China and Australia's neighbors should go and help Australia? Do you think so?
Um, yes, because we because we can know some days maybe this fire will go to our country. Maybe sometimes they're in China will have a fire now,
Mm-hmm.
and be, and because some endangered species were mm, mm, there are some endangered species in Australia, and and th- and these a- and these animals were not just Australia, and we should protect them all of us all.
Okay, yes, and we should help each other, right?
Right.
We should help each other because we belong to the same international community. What kind of help do you think countries should send to Australia? How should we help them?
Um. Maybe you can send some firefighter or some helicopter to help to control the fire.
Hmm.
And and I think and I think some idea is the best. Some idea to help the Australian government to control the fire and don't let fire to destroy our home.
Again, can you repeat the last part?
I mean some idea to help the government to make the fire don't destroy our home.
Okay, to stop the fire, right? And to
Right.
protect our homes, right? So, okay, wait a minute. I'm having a little bit of hanging here. My computer is hanging. So, oh, oh, Jessie, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. So, according to our story, Australia has had all these kinds of damage done to their country. Besides the damage to the animals and destroyed homes, how do you think the fires how do you think the fires are going to affect the country's economy? What do you think?
Sorry.
How will the fires affect Australia's economy? Do you know what economy is?
Not very much. Oh, yes, yes.
Economy? You've heard of it?
Yes.
Okay, so what is it?
First of all, like me, and because this fire, I will not go to I'm not going to travel to Australia, and I think there are very much people to to think like me too. And because they think in this fire and the Australia too became very dangerous. And like you see, um, when I go to the Australia, I want to see the koala and the kangaroos. But because it's fire and maybe I can't see them and maybe I I maybe will die in Australia.
Yes.
So it's very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, when the fire stop, the government the government must to help the people to build their home again.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it needs a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So many of things will um the government have to move lots of money to help the people. So maybe some like the building house or the other things so they can to run in normal.
Okay, right. They can't have a normal life right away. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So can you say the government has to move a lot of money? Can you say that? The government has.
Yes. The government has to move a lot of money.
Okay, and it's very dangerous to go to Australia. Dangerous. Can you say
It's
that?
very dangerous to go to Australia.
Yeah, so you have to say dangerous, not just dangers. Dangerous.
Okay.
Have to pronounce this. Yeah, you're right there. And you said you're talking about the tourists who are afraid to go to Australia because of the fires. So the fires are what? The fires are bad for the tourism sector. Can you say the sentence?
Yes. The fires are bad for the tourist sector.
Yes, the tourist or the tourism sector. So it's definitely going to destroy the tourism sector. Plus, not to
Yes.
mention the fact that the people are in danger. Okay, they're in danger too. All right. Have you read this article already or not yet?
Yes.
You've read it. So which place was mentioned in this article? What place was in danger?
Uh,
What's the name of
the name, right?
yeah, the name of the town? Which town was ravaged by fire in this story?
The town of Malakuta,
Very good. Malakuta. And where can you find Malakuta?
in the first sentence.
Yes. And you can find it in which part of Australia can you find Malakuta? Which part of Australia?
What?
Okay. Which part of Australia can you find Malakuta?
Um, on on the Victoria coast.
Very good. On the Victoria coast. So it's on the side of Victoria, right?
Yes.
Area of Victoria. So how many people were they able to evacuate?
Um,
Do you know what evacuate?
uh, 4,000.
No, 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 not 4,000. Not 4,000. Wait, let me write my question. How many people were they able to evacuate? Evacuate means they got the people out of danger. How many?
Um, 1,000.
Yeah, 1,000, right? So they were able to save these people by helicopter.
Um,
They were able to save them by
yes,
helicopter.
yes.
And what other by what other means did they save those people? Helicopter?
Ship.
Yes, by boats and ships. Good.
Yes.
All right. And what happened to the 4,000 residents of Malakuta? What happened to them?
Um, um, they fly to the beach on the Monday night.
Okay, yes, they went to the beach. They fled to the beach. What does it mean to fled? They flee or they fled to the beach. What's fled?
Um, maybe um maybe then went.
Yes, they went or they ran. They ran all the way to the beach. Why do you think they had to do that? Why did they go there?
The first of all, the fire was afraid to the water.
Okay, the fire can't touch the water.
Yes, and 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 they know maybe the government will send the helicopter and the boats to rescue them. So the boats can go to the beach and the helicopter too.
Good, yes. So they can get rescued at the beach. That's why they went there. So are all
Yes.
have all the people been rescued or not?
Not.
No, right? Because there's 4,000 on the beach, but they only got to evacuate 1,000. Only 1,000.
Yes.
So that means there's 3,000 more who are still in trouble.
Yes.
So here, this is the downburst and the lightning that we saw a while ago. Okay. So what other areas besides Victoria were ravaged by the fire? What other places were mentioned in the story? You can try to look for the answer here on this page.
Okay. For the um by rolling. Other parts of Victoria.
Other parts of Victoria, yes. Anywhere else besides Victoria?
Um. Yes. Yes. New New South Wales.
Okay, yes. New South Wales was also harmed. All right. So for the people who weren't evacuated by ship or by helicopter, what did the government ask them to do? So they weren't able to join the ships, they weren't able to join the boats and the helicopters. What else can they do? What did the government tell them?
Um. And the government called on people to leave as soon as possible. And
Yes. They told them to leave as soon as possible, but how? In what way besides the boats and the choppers?
by road.
Okay, by road in a convoy. Do you know what a convoy is?
Yes.
What is a convoy?
Um, the convoy is like uh, 嗯嗯，
Yes. Do you have an idea? So they have to go by road, right? They have to go by road and by convoy. What what form of transportation will they be using on the road? What will they be riding?
um, yes.
What transportation will they be using on the road?
Um, maybe the bike or the car.
Okay, bikes, cars, vans, any kind of four-wheel transportation. And then they have to use a convoy, right? This one,
Right.
convoy. A convoy is the lead car. They have to follow the lead car out on the road. And what happened at the railway stations?
Sorry.
What happened? What happened in Malakuta's railway stations? What was the situation in the railway station?
Uh, um, it is for Um,
They had
uh,
seen.
yes. They have the dry thunderstorms coming across the state.
Hmm. Okay, but I'm not asking about the state. I'm asking about the railway station. I think that is hard to see. You know what a railway station is? What can you
Yes.
what is it? What can you find at the railway station? Yes. What kind of transportation can you find at the railway station?
The train.
Yes, the trains. Good. The trains. So what does that mean if they're lining up? They have a large queue at the train at the railway station. What does that mean? Why do they have a long line or
Um,
a large queue at the train?
um, maybe. Um,
Yes. Yes. So the government asked them to evacuate by road, drive out in your car. A
um,
lot of them went to the train. There was a large queue.
I can hear you now.
Oh, you can hear me now. Did I disappear? Did I disappear?
Uh, I can hear you now.
Maybe this one is better. What about this? Is this
啊，
better? Is this better? Does it sound better?
听不见。
How about
啊，
how about this sound?
怎么见？
Is this sound good or bad?
等一下。
Huh? Okay. Hello. Hi.
Uh,
Can you
I still can hear now. 还是听不见？听不见。
cannot hear? Can't hear? You're still like that?
Uh, yes. I still can hear now.
Okay, can you use the chat window?
什么都没有。
Can you use the chat? This one. Can you
Yes. Okay now. Okay now.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
The sound is good?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So here we were talking about the long queue, the long line at the railway station because probably the roads are full of cars and they can't pass through the roads anymore. There's a big traffic. That's why they have to take the train.
Okay.
Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay. And here are the poor kangaroos. They have to die in the fires. A lot of them are injured and it looks like a mommy kangaroo hugging her baby. Okay, so here's the big fire. It looks big enough to cover a building, right?
Right.
Okay, and what can you say about this picture? Can you describe it to me?
Yes. There are very many. There are lots of people,
Mm-hmm.
and 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 like you say, they are sitting on a boat, and and maybe there are the tourists of and and made they were being rescued and and we can see they are not very happy now and maybe lots of them was thinking about the big fire
Mm-hmm.
and 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 the sky were blue and it's kind of dirty.
Mm-hmm. The sky looks dirty, it looks gray, it doesn't look clear, it looks like it's filled with smoke, right? They're surrounded
Yeah,
with smoke or haze. And what can you think of another word to call these people? Can you think of another word to call these
another
people? Yeah. What word can you think
um
about to call them?
um words.
The word starts with the letter S.
S.
Yes. They escape the fire. They escape their burning homes. They have to bring all their things to the boat, maybe their children, maybe their pets. And they look so miserable and unhappy. They look so sad. What kind of people are these? Can you think of any word?
The ah
S-U-R. Can you think of a word that begins with S-U-R? Sir?
sur- survivors.
Very good. Yes. They're survivors, right? Do
Right.
you agree? Yeah, so they have a very difficult life. You know, they have to leave their hometown. Probably they've lived there for 20, 30 years. Some of them are tourists, some of them are residents. Then they have to
Yeah.
go to a new town. They have to find a new house. They need money to start a new life. They lost their jobs. So all these things are going to have a very bad effect on Australia's economy. So I hope that they will survive. And what about you, Jessie? If you were a survivor in Australia, if you were one of the survivors, what would you do now?
Maybe maybe first maybe I will be very sad
Mm-hmm.
because maybe my friends, my family, um maybe some of them will die in the fire
Mm-hmm.
and and I will think how to start my new life.
Mm-hmm.
How can I start?
Mm-hmm. You have to make
And
plans, right? And
yeah, and everything to me is new and maybe I have to do a job that I never did in the old time and maybe I have to buy a new house
mm-hmm.
and and my life will be different
Mm-hmm.
now
Yes.
because the fires.
Right, and because they had to relocate to a new place. Okay. All
Yes.
right. So thank you very much, Jessie, for coming to class. You did very well in our discussion. You have a lot of good ideas. I think we need to work on your vocabulary a little bit more and some of your sentence
Okay.
constructions. But otherwise, you have good comprehension and you can carry on a really good conversation. So that part I like very much. And okay, so I hope to see you next time, and I wish you a good night. Okay?
Okay.
And a happy winter
Bye bye.
holiday. All right, bye-bye. See you
Bye
and
bye.
see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.